Hi everybody. So today we're gonna make tacos. I already have this clay conditioned. This is a mix between chocolate and burnt umber for the hamburger. This is white and ecru for the shell, and white and cheese, white and orange for the cheese, and red and translucent for tomato. And then we'll get to the guacamole and the sour cream later. So let's start with the shell. So for the shell, I could use, yellow clay or light yellow clay, but I don't because I like to use the pastels to color it. And a little magic trick, you know how corn hard-shelled tortillas have the speckles of black? Well, I add pepper to my clay, and that'll give the shell its speckles. So I mix that up real good. And I might have to add some more. Yeah. And can you see the speckles? So let's go ahead and roll that up. Okay. So next step is gonna roll it out. I'm gonna pause it real quick. Okay, so now I have it rolled out pretty thin. Pretty thin. I'm gonna use my little cookie cutter. I'll start off with 2 shells. And I give the edges a little bit of a pinch because taco shells aren't cut, like a straight edge. Okay. And the way that I like to do my tacos is I don't fold it up exactly like a taco. I kind of leave the front edge a little lower because it's going to let the toppings kind of overflow, and I just think it looks better. But you can do whatever you want. Okay. So we got a little taco shapes here. And then to the soft pastel, I'm using the yellow. And we're gonna give it a little taco color. We'll just put it all over because taco shells are yellow and not tan. But I like using the pastels instead of just using like a yellow clay because taco shells aren't perfectly colored. They're not all just one bland, straight color. And so being able to do the pastels gives, different depth to the color. And I like it. You don't have to go all the way into the taco because it's going to be covered by the hamburger and all that stuff. Just make sure you get the edges. All right, I have that the kind of yellow that I want it. I'll do the other taco later. We'll just concentrate on this one. And so to give it a little more baked look, I use the yellow and a reddish brown, just like I do on my pie crust. And I'm just gonna kind of dab around the edges. Just kind of, you know, touching it in certain places. For me, it gives it a more realistic look when the color isn't uniform. Okay. I'm gonna get the edges a little more with the yellow because I didn't get them good enough. I want to correct my own grammar. I didn't get them well enough. Okay, so I think I have the color the way that I want it. And if not, I can always add to it later. Okay, so let's move on to the hamburgers. Stuffing the hamburger in there. So I have a mix of chocolate and burnt sienna. No. Is it burnt sienna? No, it's something suede. Whatever it is, it's dark brown. And it makes it look like hamburger. So I want the hamburger to be able to fit into the taco, obviously. So because the hamburger is, I'm sorry, I'm just not on it this morning. Okay, so because the taco is shaped like this, I kind of want to make the meat shaped like this. So I pinch one end of it because that's the part that's going to go into the taco. Let's see if that is the right size. We could probably make it a little longer. And I'm gonna stuff it in there. And you can always reshape it from the outside by squeezing it. Excuse me. Okay, so now that I have the taco meat in there, now I have to make it look like taco meat. So I take my dandy little X-Acto knife. And just like I do with making things look crusty, I'm gonna do circles. And I'm gonna jab it. And I'm gonna cut it a little bit. And just make it look roughed up. Like hamburger meat. And again, you don't have to go all the way into the center. It's gonna be covered by other stuff. So no need to do all of that work just to have it covered up. Just want to show the work on the outside. Okay, so that end, is it focusing? Yeah, I can't see. There we go. See, it's all chopped up meat. And then we'll do the other side. And just some stabbing, pulling, circles, whatever, just to make it look ground up meat. And I probably could have added a little more clay, but I didn't, so I'm working with what I got. Okay. And I'm going out of camera. Alrighty, I think that's good. Does it look like taco meat? Well, I guess it might if it focused. Derp on my part. Okay, so it looks like taco meat. Alrighty. So depending on what, toppings you want to put on, I just put guacamole and the reason I only put guacamole is because if I put the lettuce and the guacamole, they kind of blend together, and again, it's just like extra work that doesn't need to be done because it looks good with just guacamole. So the guacamole, I use 2 different greens, and I kind of just chop it up to mix it because I don't really want it to be mixed into one color. I want it to stay kind of separated colors. And then I have my handy little cup that I mix up the guacamole in. So I'm just going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to put it in this cup right here. And I'm going to use liquid polymer clay because, again, that's what we use when we need things to be smooth and made into creamier consistencies. And you know what I did not do? I did not bring out a tool to mix this up. So I'm going to use my X-Acto knife. So I'm going to just chop this up in this cup. Because again, I don't really want the greens to mix into just a solid green color. Because that's not the way guacamole looks. Except for like the store-bought weird tasting stuff. But good old homemade guacamole, to me, stays different green colors because avocados have different green tones. Okay. So, mix-a-loo. My porch is kind of hot right now, so I'm getting sweaty. How sad that I'm sweating over chopping clay in a cup. Oh well, that's just how I roll. I'm going to add a little more clay to it because it's not as creamy as I want it to be. Okay, I think that will do. And then what I like to do is just take a little bit of red clay. Take some chunks and kind of mix it in. But just a little bit, just to add a little extra. And I'm gonna wipe this off. All right. So I kind of try to move the shell out of my way because I tend to get stuff everywhere. I'm not really put together when it comes to making stuff. I just have fun with it. So I goob it on in there. Goob it on in there. There we go. All right, we have our green on in the taco. And so now I'm gonna put that down for a second and we're gonna get to the cheese. And the cheese is just orange and white. And normally I add yellow, but I did not today. But it's still gonna look like cheese. I promise you that. So we're gonna roll it out. Because we just need little tiny thin little chops of it. And I'm getting pepper on the cheese. Because obviously I'm a perfectionist and I keep my area so clean and put together. Okay, so we have that chopped up. Rolled out. Now we're gonna chop it. And this really isn't the color that I usually have my cheese. This is kind of a weird 80s color. I don't know if you can tell, but it is. But it's gonna look fabulous. So we'll start with just one little thing. And we're gonna start adding our cheese. Wait. No, I don't wanna put cheese on right now. I wanna put sour cream on. Good Lord. But see, this is how I work. This is how I operate. I'm kind of all over the place and kind of derpy. Now I already have leftover meringue, so I can just add some liquid polymer clay to that and kind of work with what I already have made because I don't want to be wasteful. And that's why these containers are awesome because they keep your clay and they keep your chalk and you don't waste a whole bunch. See, look at that. That was so much faster than starting all over. Yes. Okay. Sweet. So I've got the sour cream already made. We're gonna go ahead and goob that on. Goob. Now see, I got some on the back shell and I hate that. That bugs me. But it's a taco and tacos are not, they're not clean. Real tacos are not well put together. At least not any ones that I've seen. So we're just gonna go with the messy. I think it needs a little more goob in the middle. Oh my God. See how I pinched that? Well, the extra goob will kind of cover up that it looks messy. We'll pretend that it's supposed to look like that. Okay, so now I have the sour cream on. Now we'll do the cheese. The 80s kind of cheese. All right, so we're just gonna chop up little chunks. Oh my God, I keep pinching it. Oh goodness. And we're just gonna add little cheese. Little bits of cheese. Little happy cheeses. And if you are going to make your own taco, you can do whatever the hell you want with it. And, ooh, that's all. I'll maybe do a video on like a chicken taco. But you just kind of add the cheese wherever you feel like adding the cheese, and because really it's about just adding color, that's why the layers are so separate. Because if I made a taco like what a real taco would look like, nobody would want to wear it or have it as a keychain, because for one, I make ugly ass real tacos and they're always greasy and gross looking. Okay, so tomato. These are much more uniform and beautiful. Okay, so it's a tomato. Now the tomato I want to keep, when I roll it out, I kind of want to keep it thick because I want to cut out like little squares, not thin strips like the cheese. So it's just going to give it a little roll out. It's about that thick. And that might be a little too thick. A little bit more. Okay. And then I'm going to cut the round edges off, if it will come off. There we go. And now we're just going to cut little cubes. Little sweet cubes. Probably don't need a whole lot. And then, there we are. Hello, little guy. And you just add it to the top. And just make it look so precious. Add a little more to the middle. For some reason, I need more in the middle. And maybe some on the edge here. There we go. There's our little fat taco. And I think the color is good. I think everything looks good. Okay, so now we're going to take our eye pin, because you always want to put if you're going to make it into a keychain or a necklace charm, you always want to put your eye pin in before you bake it. And these little eye pins have the little edges so that they don't pull all the way through. And I just politely poke that through my taco meat. And hopefully it comes out the other side where I want it to. Usually it doesn't. And that's not where I want it. That's not where I want it. So I'm going to finagle it. Finagle this a little bit. Please come out where I want it to. That's good. That's a good spot. So I pull it through, and I make sure that the little edge goes in there. And I just go ahead and cover it up with the meat. Act like it's not even there. Look at that. What? There's no metal there. It's just a taco. Okay. So now we are going to take this taco and we're going to bake it at 275 for 20 minutes. And then when it is done baking, I'm going to cut this and bend it. And I'm going to glaze it so that it's nice and shiny and finished. And that's how you make a little taco. Hope you guys enjoy your day. Bye.